गुड इवनिंग एंड वेलकम बैक टू पैसा बोलता है। पैसा बोलता है में फिर से आपका स्वागत है। कंपनियों में कैसा इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है, क्या स्ट्रैटेजीज है। जो महान इन्वेस्टर्स हैं जैसे बफेट हो या फिल फिशर हो, वो कैसे इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, वही आज की चर्चा का विषय है। वेलकम बैक टू पैसा बोलता है। टुडे आई वांट टू डिस्कस द टॉप 10 इन्वेस्टमेंट स्ट्रैटेजीज फॉलोड बाय द ग्रेट मास्टर्स Buffett, Fisher, Nick Knight, and many others. So let us look at it. So the first and the most important thing we should know is to find companies which have a competitive edge. In investment parlance, thanks to Buffett and Graham, we call such companies as a moat. But you have to be careful. Moats can be breached, and moats can be breached in such a way that the existing fort falls. So let us give you an example of a moat from an Indian situation, which I exploited very well. The moat is, of course, Indian Tobacco Company (ITC). The government of the day many years ago have stopped new companies from manufacturing, marketing and advertising new tobacco products. So ITC's Indian Tobacco Company practically exists as a monopoly with very little competition, with only one other company making cigarettes in India, and also import and distribution of cigarettes is banned. So ITC has a 80% plus market share in cigarettes. The competition comes from BD and Gutka and smuggled Chinese cigarettes. The smuggled Chinese cigarettes meant governments could not increase taxes beyond a point and stopped increasing taxes. ITC in turn made huge amounts of profits, declared copious amounts of dividends, took to spare cash and built other sustainable businesses. If they continue this strategy for 10 years, they could become India's largest food company. They are already one of India's largest hotel companies. They are also a large paper company and so on. So this is an example of a moat. Newspapers like Hindu used to be a moat in India, but the arrival of Google, internet and social media has made those moats irrelevant. Because everybody is a journalist, everybody can blog, and so the expert advice is no more with the Hindu or any newspaper. So they have to reinvent to stay in the game. So one has to be very careful whether a moat exists or not. Second, buy right and sit tight. This is basically investing with an aspect for a very long term. In one of the chapters of Intelligent Investors, Graham quotes Horse, the great Greek storyteller, and says, "If you look at things with aspect of eternity, you become eternity." This is what he meant, and this is like buying and keeping a company for a long term. Buying a stock is not buying a piece of paper, but being a part of a business for a very long term. So if you buy a stake in a neighborhood firm, you don't check your stock price every day, and you don't decide to buy and sell every day. If you had decided to become a partner with Infosys or Dr. Reddy on the day they listed, you would be extremely wealthy today. The problem is you cannot look at the rear view mirror and check which one will do well. As I discussed with my nephew in a sister channel, in small cap companies, it's very difficult to find out which one is going to turn big. Therefore, if you buy a basket of small cap companies or mid cap companies with a consumer focused brand, one or two may succeed. But the prevalence of private equity and private capital has meant that you don't discover such companies at early stages now. So you have to buy them when they become large cap. Even if you buy a company in large cap and stay with it for 20-25 years, you will make phenomenal rates of returns. So my strategy, buy right and sit tight. And remember, whenever there is blood on the street, be the first one to rush and buy. Those opportunities come few and far between. 3. Valuation is most important. Be it in Twitter or in LinkedIn, I say price is what you pay and value is what you get. So as the great master Howard Marks once taught us, any asset becomes cheap at a particular price. And at any price, even the best asset becomes too costly. The whole idea is to how to value a stock or value an asset. Once you value an asset, you can arrive at an intrinsic value. The intrinsic value of any asset is the beholder's eye. So you may value, each one has his own intrinsic value. The cheaper you buy from the intrinsic value, the better you may get, and you'll make a lot more money. So my suggestion, go for a valuation which is very reasonable, and then try to buy below that price. You will definitely make a lot of money. Always buy companies which are not there in the limelight. If you go behind the companies which are in the limelight, you will never make money. Always find companies which are not in the limelight, which are out of favor, and you can enter it cheap. When a company which nobody wants, you can buy cheap. We bought IDFC Bank very cheap. We bought Karnataka Bank very cheap because nobody wanted it. The valuation was very reasonable. There was a huge margin of safety, and then we entered, said thank you very much. So this is what you do. You look at a valuation which is reasonable. You look at a bank or a company which is not in the news and then say thank you very much, and you buy and keep buying, and you do not stop buying till it becomes too costly. The most common mistake, you guys assume that investors always get it right. Even the legends don't get it right. In fact, the biggest mistake Warren Buffett made was buying Berkshire Hathaway itself. If he had not bought Berkshire Hathaway, he would have made a lot more than what he has made. It would have been in billions of dollars. The second biggest mistake Buffett made was paying for Dexter shoes by Berkshire stocks. A big mistake, because the Dexter shoes does not exist. The Chinese companies have taken it over. But of course, Berkshire shares are very valuable. Based on current valuations, Buffett paid more than $2 billion to buy Dexter shoes. So use your stock very cheap. Buffett himself said, out of every 10 stocks he picks, 4 can go wrong and 6 can go right. 6 going right is a big achievement. So this is what I have to say in पैसा बोलता है. पैसा बोलता है में आपने इस पॉडकास्ट में उपस्थित हुए, इस पॉडकास्ट को सुना, इसके लिए मैं आपका आभारी हूँ. तो मैं समझता हूँ कि इस पॉडकास्ट से आपका फायदा हुआ, तो पैसा कीजिए, बेल बटन दबाएं, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और इस वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए. आप कमेंट भी इसमें लिख सकते हैं और इस वीडियो को अपने दोस्त और रिश्तेदार के साथ शेयर कीजिए. नमस्कार, जय हिंद, धन्यवाद. Welcome back to Be Rich. I am in Tokyo on work on the 5th of August 2023. I have a lot of following in Japan, Tokyo. Those who want to meet me in Tokyo on 5th August, kindly drop me an email on the address given below or contact us on WhatsApp there. My team would get in touch with you and facilitate the meeting. Once again, I thank you for your support for Be Rich.